Story 1. The Man in the Laundry Room. I used to work the night shift at a small apartment complex in Ohio. My job wasn't special, just cleaning, checking the hallways, and making sure the building stayed quiet. Most nights were slow. Too slow, and sometimes that kind of silence makes your mind sharpen in a way you don't want. It happened around 2:45 a.m. on a Wednesday. I remember the time clearly because the building clock always ticked louder at night, almost echoing through the halls. I was walking past the basement laundry room, and normally I never check it unless a tenant complains. But that night, the door was slightly open, just barely. I felt this strange pull in my chest, like something was telling me to close it, but also telling me not to go near it at all. I pushed the door open slowly. The room was empty. At least, that's what I thought at first. There were 3 washing machines, 2 dryers, and a small folding table against the back wall. And on the table was a pile of wet clothes. Not unusual, some tenants forget their laundry all the time. But these weren't normal clothes. They were soaked, as if someone had taken them directly out of muddy water. And then I noticed something else, a pair of shoes just barely sticking out from behind the dryer. I froze. "Hello?" I called out, trying to sound confident. No answer. I stepped closer, every part of me screaming to turn around and leave. I leaned forward just enough to look behind the dryer. Nobody. The shoes were empty, placed there on purpose, toes facing the wall. That's when the air in the room changed. It didn't get colder. It felt heavier, like someone else had just walked in. I turned toward the door. There was a man standing in the doorway. He was tall, with long, messy hair that covered most of his face. He didn't say a word. He wasn't even breathing loudly. He just stood there, blocking the exit completely. "Sir, this room is for tenants only," I said, my voice breaking a little. "Nothing?" His chest rose, just once, like he had remembered how to breathe. Then he smiled, not a human smile. It was too wide, too forced, like his face hadn't practiced the motion in years. He tilted his head, and his hair fell just enough to reveal his eyes. They were not normal eyes. They were white. Completely white, without pupils. I stumbled back, hitting the table behind me. The sound of metal shook the room. The man took a single step toward me. I grabbed the broom that leaned by the table and lifted it like a weapon, but he didn't react. Instead, he stepped backward, then another step, and another, until he faded into the hallway, not walking away, but almost sliding backward, like his feet never left the floor. I ran, slamming the laundry room door and sprinting to the security office upstairs. The next morning, the cameras were checked. Every hallway camera worked perfectly, but the one facing the laundry room, the one that showed the door, had been disabled. Not cut, not broken, just turned off. Maintenance said it had been switched off manually, but the switch was inside the locked security cabinet, and I was the only one with a key. No one ever reported a stranger in the building. No one claimed the wet clothes. And I still think about that man's eyes, like he wasn't looking at me, but looking through me. Story 2. The shadow that followed me outside. I used to work the night shift at a gas station off a quiet highway in North Carolina. It was the kind of place where truckers would stop for coffee, and locals came for cigarettes or scratch tickets. Nothing dramatic ever happened, until a night that still haunts me. It was around 3 a.m. when a heavy rainstorm hit. The power flickered, and the sky was an angry dark blue. I was restocking shelves when I heard the automatic door open, but no one came inside. Just rain blowing in. "Hello?" I called. The door stayed open longer than it should. Normally, it closes within 3 seconds. This time, it stayed open for almost 10. When it finally slid shut, I felt this slow chill go up my spine. I kept working, trying to ignore it. A few minutes later, while walking behind the counter, I noticed something strange in the security monitors. In the camera facing the pumps, there was a figure. It was standing at pump 6. Not moving, not pumping gas, just standing in the rain. I zoomed the camera in. The figure was pitch black. Not like a person wearing dark clothes, more like a shadow in the shape of a human. No features, no details, just darkness. At first, I assumed the rain or lightning distorted the image. But then it raised its arm. Slowly, toward the camera. I felt something twist in my stomach. And then my phone, lying on the counter, started vibrating non-stop. Private number. When I answered, all I heard was breathing. Not normal breathing, slow, deep, like someone inhaling inches from the phone. I hung up immediately. When I looked back at the monitor, the shadow figure was gone. I stepped outside the station to look around, telling myself it was just a glitch. But the second the door shut behind me, I felt it. Someone was standing right behind me. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. My whole body locked up. The rain slowed. The sound of water hitting the pavement softened. And in that moment of silence, I felt a hand touch my shoulder. Ice cold. I swung around. No one, but the imprint of fingers, cold, damp, almost burning, stayed on my shoulder for minutes. I ran inside and locked the doors until sunrise. When my manager reviewed the cameras the next day, she saw nothing. No figure. No shadow. Not even me stepping outside. The cameras showed static for the exact 1 minute I was out there. The system never glitched again. Just that 1 minute. Story 3. The whispering floors of the old hospital. My story takes place in an old hospital in Michigan where I worked security for a short time. The building had 2 active floors, but 5 floors were abandoned old wings closed off due to safety issues. Night shift guards were told to never go above the 2nd floor. Ever. But one night, a loud alarm went off from the 5th floor. The most abandoned level of all. Protocol said I had to check it. When the elevator doors opened on the 5th floor, the air smelled old, like dust and something metallic. Most lights were dead. The hallway looked endless, with peeling paint and broken signs hanging loosely. I heard the alarm echoing from the far end. But as I started walking, the floor under me whispered, not creaked, not cracked. Whispered. At first I thought it was wind moving through the vents. But the floor whispered again, this time, clearly. Go back. I stopped instantly. My heart started pounding. I shined my flashlight over the tiles. Nothing there, but the whisper came again, faster now, almost panicked. Go back, go back. I turned around, ready to leave, when something made a soft tapping sound from behind me. Tap, tap, tap. Like someone walking barefoot on the tiles, I aimed my flashlight toward the sound. There was a shape at the end of the hallway. It wasn't a person. It wasn't even fully human. It looked like a pale, thin figure crouched on the floor, its hands spread out too wide, its limbs wrong in length. It cocked its head slowly, as if listening to something. Then the whisper changed. This time it didn't come from the floor. It came from the figure. Don't go. Its voice was soft and childlike, but completely empty of emotion. It crawled forward, its limbs bending in angles no human joints could handle. I stepped back. Then again, but the creature crawled faster. I sprinted toward the elevator. As I ran, the hallway lights flickered violently, flashing shadows along the walls. The whispers grew louder, echoing from the floors, the walls, the ceiling. Don't go! Don't go! I reached the elevator and slammed the button repeatedly. The creature was halfway down the hall now, crawling unnaturally fast, its mouth widening into a stretched, silent scream. When the elevator finally opened, I jumped inside and hit the close button. The doors shut slowly. Too slowly. The last thing I saw was the creature rising to its full height, much taller than a person, and placing its hand on the elevator door just before it sealed. The metal dented inward. When I reached the 1st floor, the dent was gone. Maintenance checked the 5th floor and found nothing, not even the alarm that supposedly went off. That floor has been sealed ever since. And I left the job 2 weeks later. Which story scared you the most? Comment below and subscribe for more true horror stories.